in that podcast episode, Warriors Plus Minus, Slater brought up Dejounte Murray, who was a bit of a weird, curious name to throw out on the agenda. And I think he did it more than just a suggestion, the way I kind of read it or listened to it. It was more than just a suggestion of, oh, how about Dejounte Murray? Like, they kind of went into it in a way that made me think, oh, okay, maybe this is actually a genuine possibility. I think the initial thought was, okay, what is he adding? Like, he's another guard. Do we need another guard added to this roster? You've got Steph, Clay, Pod, CP3. I think this would be a CP3 move. I think this would be a move Atlanta getting off future money with Dejounte about to start a 4-year, $110 million contract. It'd be about them getting off money. They get a nice young player in return, maybe, and they get a pick or something like that. And obviously the contract should have to match because CP3 actually makes over $10 million more than Dejounte this season. He's not a perfect fit for the Warriors by any means. So some of the spacing issues, which I wrote about today or yesterday, the ironic thing is that the Warriors revolutionized the game with Steph and Clay and the ability to shoot the ball and, you know, the 3-point line, whatever else. And the ironic thing is that after doing that, they are now really limited 3-point shooting wise behind Steph and Clay. Moses is okay, but he's still, you know, league average. Dario's good for a big man, but he's a bench player playing 15 minutes. They really lack shooting. And Dejounte Murray wouldn't help that, despite the fact that he is shooting a career high, 39.4%, I think it is, from 3-point range, on a career high 6.1 attempts, I think it is, per game or something like that. So his three ball's actually been really good this season. I'm not sure I would completely put my faith in that because he's less than 34%, I think, on his career. He's had 3 years under 33% out of his 7 seasons. His other really only good 3-point shooting season came, I think it was his rookie year where he shot 39.1%. So, would he be more of a spacing threat than Chris Paul? Yes. But the Warriors might want more than that. They might want more of a shooter if they're going to be willing to give up Chris Paul, because I think they love Chris Paul, and the lack of Chris Paul over the last couple of games has really been evident. So, yes, you'd be committing to more money, and keeping that salary spot open would be important, but you also have to question, is it wise for the Warriors to commit to more money when they're in the position they are right now? Because if you're going to acquire Dejounte Murray, you have to trade Chris Paul. It can't be Andrew Wiggins for Dejounte Murray, because that makes no sense with the fit of the team. He's also not the same defender that he was. Like, if you think of Dejounte Murray, you think, and part of the reason Atlanta got him was to kind of help Trae Young in that backcourt and limit some of his deficiencies, be the primary point of attack defender. And he's still averaging 1.4 steals per game, which is higher than anyone on the Warriors, I might add. But he's not the same defender that he was, where he was all NBA defensive second team in his second season. He was the steals leader in 2022. 6'10" wingspan, long utilized that to great effect. But defensive box plus minus, defensive win shares, both at a career low this season. So if you're expecting him to come in and be this difference-making primary point of attack defender, then again, that's a faith that is probably not well directed based on what we've seen from him in the last year or so. But again, maybe a new environment, maybe you do have some optimism there that he could return to being that guy. And he's still young. I mean, the guy's 27 years old. He's still young enough to get back to his best defensively. But I think the main thing with him is he is averaging over 21 points per game this season, and the Warriors need a good, consistent second option. And I think Dejounte Murray would provide that. He's scored under 10 points once in 36 games this season. He's scored under 15 just 7 times in 36 games. So what that tells me is you kind of know what you're getting every night. Like, you're going to get at least 15 points and anywhere between 15 and 25. Maybe he has the odd 30-point game. He is a good rebounder, nearly 5 a game. He's still an excellent playmaker. He can be your point guard when Steph is off the floor. He can take the Chris Paul role there. He averaged over 9 assists, I think it was the 2021-22 season with the Spurs. He's still averaging over 5 assists a game with the Hawks since moving there, even despite playing second forward to Trae Young. So I actually like the fact that his numbers and stuff are still pretty good. Like, his personal numbers are still pretty good, even though he's playing next to Trae, not getting as much opportunity. And so the fit with Steph, I think, actually provides some optimism there, especially if he can get back to his best defensively. But I guess the question marks, why hasn't it worked in Atlanta? Is it a Dejounte Murray thing? Or is it just Atlanta and their general issues as a whole? That's kind of what you've got to work out as a team that might have interest in Dejounte Murray. But right now, is he going to be the difference-making player that all of a sudden surges the Warriors up the standings and into genuine contention? No, he won't. But is it something different to what we're seeing right now? Would it be something better than what we're seeing right now? Then yes. And if that's the case, then you've got to look at it. And if the price is right, you might pull the trigger and do it.